Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pips. Today is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, 2:15 p.m. Eastern China time. And I'm going to be going over my back testing, and I'm going to be doing this in real time. So I want to show everyone exactly how I do my journaling. I'm going to go through the next day so you can see everything is done in real time. I posted a couple of journal entries recently, but I do have people that still want to know if I'm actually rewinding and putting these in hindsight, or if I'm actually taking the trades in real time. So I want to show y'all that I do this in real time. I want to go through the thought process of how I'm thinking, and this is going to be shared on my website. I have a new website. It's going to be in the description box below, but also I'm going to be posting it a lot more all over my social media. It's tradeforpips.com. TRADE, the number 4, and PIPS.com, tradeforpips.com. And that is my new official website. I started that about a week ago, and I just been uploading my daily entries, blog contents. And if you want to reach out to me for any type of help, I do some coaching, and I will have a course shortly. And yeah, it's just basically a lot of content. Most of it's free. And if you want to learn more about how I trade and how I got into my journey and how I'm doing along my journey, you can follow up. And that is a great resource. So right now, I'm just going to go into what I'm doing right now. So this is my official application I use to take trades, called Forex Tester 5. And as you can see on this testing software, I have notes that I wrote, and this is just a random time. I just wanted to show that the strategies and the system that I trade is universal. It works on all time frames. For that, it works on all time frames. It works most days of the week. There's going to be times when it doesn't work, and I'm going to show y'all why I skip certain trades, why I don't take certain setups, and just a lot of whys behind everything that I do. Let me just reframe everything. So just a moment while I fix a couple of things right now. I want to make sure that my frame size is right. So as of right now, I'm going to get straight into everything that I'm doing. You're going to be able to see everything from top down, and you're going to be able to see exactly how I get into these trades. So let's get going, making sure that the recording is still happening, and it is. I'm going to get into the next trading day. So you can see this was my recent trading day. There's no other history. I can show y'all my trading history in my orders right here. So this is going to be also like an official Forex tester tutorial, and you're going to be able to see how I get in and out of trades, and you're going to see a little bit of how I mess around with the software. It's a very useful software, and it comes in handy. Just a moment. I want to get myself my drink. All right, so let's get started. Show my charts, my data, showing my windows. There we go. Open positions. So I started off with a 100K account, and this is where it's at right now, 107,680. At first, I was risking about 1/4% to 0.5% per trade, and I was going for 2-hour targets. You can see my history. And this is just a simulation that I've been doing for quite a while. So you can see I took about 188 trades. This was in the past, but you can see my win rate. You can see my profits and losses. And basically, I've been just doing, whenever I get free time, I'll open this up and I'll be running my system, my strategies, everything that I've been working on. It's actually, I apologize for that. It's currently at 107K. I did start it at 50K. See, I net profited 57K so far. And this has been running, like I said, I can show y'all the history. Let me go to account history. So yeah, I like to just share this before I start my testing. I can show y'all the history and y'all can see the trades that I took from start to finish. Where is it? Okay, so I started this a few months ago and I take breaks. I don't use this software every week. I might not use this for like a few weeks. This is my first time using Forex Tester. I just started using it a few days ago. It was my first time in almost 2 months. I just been busy traveling and do my own thing. And I actually trade the real market. So I don't necessarily need to use this, but you can see there, it started off with a lot of losses and it's kind of like 50-50. Profit targets are being hit. I'll have the occasional loss. Win rate, you can see everything is transparent and it goes all the way up to recent history. You can see that I have a lot less losses. Losses do still occur, but my winners are bigger. I risk a maximum of 1% per trade, but you can see from the start, I was only going for $500 losses and a couple big losses there. But all in all, I was risking about 1/4 to 0.5%. And now you can see that I'm risking 1% per trade as I become more efficient in my strategy. And I'll go for 2%. So you'll have $2,000 winners. You'll have $2,600 winners, which is about 2.5 R of this account. Sometimes I get like half an R, or I'll take a loss or a partial loss. And like I said, as of recently, I've been working on a lot more internals. So this is just me following up with my history. I'm able to just see everything that I'm doing. And it's very clear for me. That's why I love this software. I can save it and it can always just be there for my own reference. But let's go into the actual trading now. You can see I am net profitable over my series of trades that I take. I try not to rewind trades, but if I did make a really big mistake that I know I shouldn't have took, such as it could be something stupid like position size error. I might have clicked the button twice. I'll pause it and I'll cancel it. So it's not necessarily all happening in real time because I can pause this, but it's like a couple times I might have had like a simple clicking error that I have to pause it and edit that. But I don't necessarily edit my trades, and I'm going to show y'all right now how everything goes. But yeah, I just want to give y'all the rundown so far on this. Since I started this testing back in last summer of 2024. Wow, time's passed. So it's been 6 months worth of trading, but I have evolved over those 6 months. So I just like to show the full transparency. My win rate is about 59% based off of last summer up until now. And I'm going to see how much I can improve. I'm going to start a new back testing from scratch at some point, but it's a very good tool because you can see a lot of stuff that are a lot of analytics here. But I'm gonna move this over. Stay in the call. I'm recording myself, so they want to just follow up. So this is gonna be put towards the bottom of the screen, about right here. And I'm gonna just break this down now. So let me exit out of here, exit out of here, exit out of here, and here we go. So I trade the 3-minute chart. So when you see my charts from now on, you're going to notice a lot of my day trading results are going to be based off of 3-minute bars. It just fits for me. It suits me best. I'm not a big fan of the 1 minute right now because there's a lot more chop happening during this time of the year. I don't know. I've been trading 1 minute for years, and up until recent couple years, 1 minute chart has just been a lot more saturated. A lot more traders like to trade the 1 minute. And when it gets overcrowded, it tends to be a little bit more difficult to trade. So for me, I like to use different type of time frames that many people aren't really on. I still trade the same strategies and everything, but finding your optimal time frame is very important. Not everyone can thrive on the 1 minute, and it does evolve. It does evolve over time, so you may be able to adapt to the new data. But for me, I like the 3 minute. It's just what I like. Sometimes I go back onto the 1 minute and I'll trade that as well. But I noticed a lot better results and a lot more constant results trading the 3 minutes. So all that jibber jabbing talking, let's get into the next day. So what I do is this is GMT +8, and I trade between 20 o'clock and 22 o'clock every day based on this data. So this was March 15th, 2023. Daylight savings time passed, which means that 8 o'clock p.m. in China is 8 o'clock a.m. in New York. And that is when the Forex market officially opens for US traders, but it does run all day. That's just the New York Open. That's what I like to trade. I could trade a London Open, but for the euro dollar, the most volume is during that London US overlap. But I do use a London Open all the way up until London lunch as data to tell me how context has been performing throughout the day. So it's kind of like an edge that I can use. I can see how it's been performing before my trade, and I have a lot of information, a lot of valid data that can back that up. And so if I notice it's not a good trading day, I'm not going to trade, or I'm going to wait half an hour before I start trading to find, just to see if there's any more data that can be used to back up my reason for trading for that day. If it's still choppy and bad, I'll just call it a day, and it saves me from getting into unfavorable market conditions. So that's what I do every day. That's my pre-market context. And right now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna jump the bar forward. So this is the 4-hour bar. See the time at the bottom is 23:59. It's about US lunchtime. Market's closing 7:59. Tokyo session, or and this is China lunch. And I'm just doing this all the way up until 1959. So here we are at the bottom of the screen, 1959, Thursday, next day. See, all my trade history is all down there. I do this. I've been executing. You can see it's all real. Everything that I posted from my Twitter back in the day, all the way up until now, I do take these trades. It's my own journal. It's for my own self-improvement, but I can use this data to help others. If you're struggling, especially if you're working with me, you know, creating a trading journal is something that I emphasize all the time in our meetings. And I even use my own. This is a trading journal. And I'm going to go to that 3-minute chart now that I'm about to get started on my session. I'm going to measure the chart, make sure the orientation is right. I already did my research. It was about 60 pips, 70 pips at this time. I'm going to mark off the daily highs and lows. So I have these bars right here. Let me just, this is array. I'm going to delete this. Start off the fresh new day, horizontal line, mark off the daily highs. This is the array. I'm going to delete that. The other horizontal line. Okay. I just like to move the horizontal lines back and forth, orientate my chart. That's something I do every single day before my session starts. I go back about 7 a.m. is about the start of this trading day, from the NYSE close until the reset. So you can see that the lows of the day was made right around 1.05730. See, the highs of the day were made before my session. It happened around London session. And that's it. Highs of the day marked off, lows of the day marked off. Y-axis orientated. And from my x-axis, I like to see the most recent 3 to 4 hours, but I can zoom in to the most recent 2 hours if I want, just so I can have a good scope of the markets. Then I'm going to put my graphic element. I like to use the vertical line tool just to show where I'm currently at in the session. And then I'm going to have one more to display the end of my session. So now I'm going to look from London Open until now. London Open started crosshair 16 o'clock my time, like I said. So this is about 9 o'clock, 24 o'clock, 16 o'clock is right around here. So this is the official London Open start, and I'm going to just read price action based off of this. We can see it was bullish. I do TCs and TC North, TC South. I have reversal strategy. So in this video, I'm not going to break it down exactly what it is, but I'm just going to explain to y'all, if you've been working with me, you understand what a trend continuation is, what a northbound trend continuation and what a southbound trend continuation is. And this is just a quick scan I do. It takes a couple minutes, few minutes. So you're going to see exactly how I do it. Right now we have a bullish market. Clearly you can see price came out of range, started coming on up. There was a 1 bar trigger. I don't like taking those. I wait for 2 bar trigger. It doesn't happen. Price does recede and it's like triggering, but trigger fails. There's a DP north. It fails. We're officially in a range from this high of 1.06 daily highs, pretty much all the way until this trend started. So down here, so we're in a big old range. Pretty much that's what I'm seeing. When I see that, I like to just highlight that. And price was in the range prior. You can see earlier in the day, it was just ranging. So this is how I get my context. So for me, this is a rangy context. I'm going to install a horizontal ray just so I could differentiate the range lows from daily lows because they are different. So this is the horizontal ray. I'm going to be moving it around, but this is just to highlight the current range. You can see the current range low is different from the daily low. I like to keep those different. I'll use like a different color line or a bar or whatever, but that is the range of lows. So we're going to be in a range until we break out of that range. And I won't really be trading that range unless there's a, for me, I'm looking, it's bullish. So I like to see like an RB North, TC North, one of those to emerge within this large range. I'm going to measure this range. It's definitely tradable. I like to see at least 10 pips. It's about 41 pips, about a 40 pip, 41 pip range, give or take. So we have a big range. Price is not moving anywhere. It's very choppy. I can see that. If I'm looking for any type of particular trade, looking for northbound moves only because it's a big up wave. So potential RB North right here that failed. Nothing. As you can see, I'm just assessing. So for me, trigger's been working pretty much 0% of the time. So I don't like this trading day already. Let's see what happens when the news comes out. So there is unemployment claims, building permits. There's some high impact news coming out, import prices. All of this is happening. You can click on the news at the bottom, and it's all happening at 20:30. So 8:30 p.m. my time, 8:30 a.m. New York time. There's also high impact European monetary policy statement at 9:15. So this is going to be not the greatest day-to-day trade unless I start an hour later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait out the first hour of the day. I'm not going to trade at 20 o'clock because there's high impact news. There's also press conferences. So I'm going to press the resume button, and I can control the speed of the bars by going right and going left. And I can also pause, but this is basically each bar is 3 minutes. And if I go to the right, it's speeding up that 3-minute duration of that bar. And I can just kind of fast forward that day. And that's why I love this software. I can also pause it and click bar forward if I want to really speed it up. And each bar is 3 minutes, so I can move forward in time. So I want to get by these news. And as you can see, this is all happening all within this day. So it's a very tricky day. But you see how I'm able to assess this before even knowing that these news announcements are coming, because that's a part of my trading system. I'm able to stay out of unfavorable conditions just by doing what I just did in the pre-market. So I already told myself, no, it's choppy. None of my triggers have been working, and we're in a large range where price action has been working 0% of the time. So this is where you have to be passive. You have to sit on your hands until, for me, either the high of this range is broken and price comes back in and forms a reversal back towards the lower end, or the lower end of this range is broken, price comes in and starts to reverse upwards. So I'm going to just fast forward it. And if none of that happens, you can see how it's grindy. Grindy means that price is moving side by side and not really making clear movement. If you look to the left, you can see that it was less grindy coming on into the London session. You can see that nice clear up wave or uptrend, but there was no pullbacks that were valid enough to trigger me in. So I stood out. First pullback was this big, large move down here, and I wouldn't really consider that a valid pullback because there's very fine detail that I discussed during my coaching that I look for, and this is not a good pullback. This is just a spiked at some highs, came all the way back, and we didn't have that 2-bar pullback that I like to wait for. So that's just, it triggered basically a 1-bar pullback. It was boom. For those of you that work with me, 21 o'clock, and then there's a trigger at 1621, and then 1624, there's a trigger that failed. That was a 1-bar trigger. I would have skipped it anyways. You can see everything is grindy. There was that first set of news. Didn't really make a difference. So there we go. That's the high impact news candle. We're hitting daily lows, breaking out of my range lows. But because the trigger's been working 0% of the time, I need more evidence. I need more conviction. So this could start forming an RB or TC North back towards the upside of the range if it rejects these lows. So what I would like to see is, I would like to see some bulls coming in, staying above that horizontal ray that I made, and a 2-bar pullback or 2-bar pause. Those of you that work with me, you understand what that is. And I like to see that relatively within that ray. And if it's doing all this mess, it's not valid for me. Basically, it's showing a potential short back to the downside, and there's a higher probability that these lows are going to be hit. But because we have high impact news within a few minutes, that may not happen. We'll see. But more than likely, price will continue on down. I wouldn't take this because trigger's been working 0% of the time. So if this does work, it's indicating to me that maybe I can trade that next hour. See, it's 21:07. We have less than 10 minutes until that high impact news, which is the monetary policy. That is a very high impact kind of like a black swan event. There's also a press conference at 21:45. But more than likely, I won't be trading this day. But let's see. Price is coming back inside of this range after rejecting it. Let's see if we can form a nice up wave and a pullback and a trigger to take it on out. There we go. But it happened right on the high impact news, which is why I don't trade high impact. It can go both ways. It basically would have triggered you in on that news, went up about 1.5 R, and then immediately, like a few seconds later, stopped you out. So that was not a great trade to take. Anyways, you would have basically took a loss within a minute. Now you can see prices just whipsawing. Whipsawing is a phrase that I use to reference price that is not going either way. It's just erratically moving in both directions with no clear trend. And right now it's just whipsawing. It broke daily lows. It's pulling back. Now we might have another reversal towards the highs of the day. But there's another news announcement at 21:45, which is about 15 minutes away. So that's only a few candles. So I'm reading all of this in real time, and I'm staying out, and I'm calling out the plays that I should take based off of my strategies. But because I don't like what's going on, I skip it. Let me just make sure that this is still recording. They're going to ask if anyone is still there. Yes, I'm still here. Hopefully y'all are still following up with me. and following along with everything that I'm doing. I like to just keep things clear and transparent. And yes, let's continue to go back onto the chart. So you can see there's a nice northbound move that did trigger right here, and it is currently bullish. That's where I would have bought, but I'm going to stay out because none of my triggers been working. I need conviction. So right around 2136 is where I would have bought. I'm going for 2R, maybe 1.5 because of the day. And you can see that I'm assessing that. Stop loss would have been about 17 pips. Too large, but go for 2R, and it hit that 2R target. That is a TC North. For those of you that only know the TCs, it's also an RB North, which is a reversal strategy that I use. And that would have easily hit a 3R target, a 2R target at least. 28 pips would have been the target. But the stop loss is too large for me. On this particular type of day, I would not trade anything. 2 hours is up for me, 22 o'clock. And as you can see, I just broke it all down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to draw this right here. And this is the end of that day. So as you can see, I did not trade during that day because there was some super high impact news. There were some very big stop losses, a lot of chop before. And had I taken this trades during this day, I would have violated rules for one, because I have rules, stop loss sizes, maximum limits, and I would have broken my rules just to take certain trades, trading right before news, and I would have took a loss, and that loss would have probably been bigger than 1R because it happened so fast. And I would have took a winner, but that stop loss is too large, and I probably would have made up to 2R. So based off of my own efficiency, yes, I would have definitely had about a 1R winning day. But because I have these rules installed, that winner that I took right here, that would have just been, don't like to use the word lucky, but it just happened to work out for that day. On most days like this, I may not even be able to get that opportunity afterwards. So that happened, and it happened right before news. So I would have to violate that news rule again. And as you can see, this is a no trading day. So I'm going to save my data afterwards. And as you can see, I did not trade during this day, but I did call the shots, and you were able to see everything. Let's go on to the next day. This is going to be kind of a longer video, but I'm going to basically mark this one off as part 1, and I'm going to go into part 2 where I break down the next set of charts. So this is part 1. This is going to be called High Impact News Day. So when you see it on the YouTube later, when I upload it, it's going to be basically no trading day, high impact news that were involved, basically monetary policy, this like FOMC. I don't like taking this type of, I don't like trading in during these type of days until after the announcement. And after the announcement, it was already pretty much BS. Whipsaws, the worst conditions of the worst, no trading day. That's what it's going to be labeled. I'm going to get on to the next video, and I'm going to stop presenting this now. So be ready for part 2, y'all.